If we were to do a combined 11, say, of Premier League era Chelsea versus Manchester United.
We've been tasked this and we've been told 4-3-3. So we've been given that parameter just to let everyone.
And that's to let more Chelsea players in. That's what the theory is from our producer, right? Because 4-4-2 brings in more wingers, Beckham, etc., and you just don't get any Chelsea players in. I think that's the rationale. But we should start off in goal.
In goal, I think it's a difficult shout between all three because I think you're looking at arguably the three greatest goalkeepers in Premier League history. Schmeichel, Van der Sar and Cech.
Yeah.
I don't care who you pick. I would pick Schmeichel. That's just my choice.
I think Schmeichel was sensational. I think Van der Sar just truly incredible. I would go Cech. I think that Cech was... in my opinion, Cech is the best Premier League goalkeeper of all time. I really believe that. I think that he was just so commanding, so brilliant, and basically so stingy. It became impossible to score against Chelsea for about 3 seasons.
Interestingly, Cech was the goalkeeper when you kept 15 goals, right?
Yes.
So he's got that record there. And then Van der Sar had the record for the longest
clean sheets.
Yeah, obviously, a lot of credit goes to Rio and Vidic and Terry and Carvalho as well.
I think also the keeper is the genesis for a brilliant back line.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to keep the clean sheets without Van der Sar, and we're not going to concede 15 goals without Cech.
Buvey, would you pick?
Yeah, Buvey, you might have to pick this one.
I have to go Cech.
Well, everyone go with their own, innit? We'll
have to
do
go
our
Cech.
own 11s.
I have to go Cech.
I think, no, let's do a club 11. I think it's better that we agree.
Yeah, let's agree.
It's better that we agree. It's also easier for the editors.
It's so hard, honestly. I love Schmeichel, man.
Fuck them editors. I don't want to agree with you lot.
Okay.
There was a period with Cech, you just thought you couldn't score against Cech. You just there was a period, and maybe it's my age as well, but I have to go with Cech.
Talking Van der Sar's that period where Rio, Vidic, Evra. Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay, so we're going to go Cech. Cech. Buvey can get the sign off. We'll go Cech. Okay.
We're not falling back onto his decision making.
I think it's the most easy way to do it. It's also, Adam, we have a task and we need to get through it. And
all right, my right.
If we do
let's
three
do
different teams.
Fullbacks together. Gary Neville and Ashley Cole.
Easy.
Yeah,
Easiest
with a
pick of
gentle
all.
homage to Dan Petrescu, of course, but Gary Neville on the
and Patrice Evra
or Ivanovic.
Yeah, and
Ivanovic probably closer to protect them.
Gary Neville is the best right back in the Premier League era, in my opinion, and Ashley Cole is the best left back in the Premier League era, in my opinion, and therefore that's fairly easy. I also believe that the two centre halves are quite easy.
Easy. They wouldn't like playing it with each other for obvious reasons.
Rio and Stam. Rio and Vidic.
No, it's Rio and John Terry.
It's Rio and Terry as the two centre halves again. I mean, you can. There are some honourable mentions. Of course, Manchester United have had their fair share of outrageously brilliant centre halves. Ricardo Carvalho.
You just have to name Carvalho, Desai.
Yeah, Desai's an interesting one, because Desai wasn't as a player.
Desai.
Yeah, Desai wasn't the AC Milan Desai.
It's like us saying Laurent Blanc, maybe.
Yeah.
It's a bit sneaky.
Like Chelsea fans, particularly young ones, they always bring up Desai. And I'm just like, if you lived it, Desai was the captain of a Chelsea team that didn't win away in the league until March.
If you picked like each defender's best one season, I think you could make an argument for Jaap Stam within.
I think if you do that, you're then also making an argument for Ricardo Carvalho.
Yeah, Carvalho was. Yeah. I love Carvalho.
Yeah, but I think the pairing for the longevity and for their contribution to the Premier League and to their clubs.
Oh, easy.
I think it's Terry Ferdinand fairly easily.
Very easy.
Quite even so far. More even than I necessarily thought.
My midfield three.
Yeah.
Is Keane, Scholes, Lampard.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think that's my mentions for Essien, Makaleli, Paul Ince, Michael Carrick.
I think the three that you've said are completely correct. I think it's obviously Roy Keane. You can't do any kind of Premier League team without Roy Keane in it, in my opinion. I believe exactly the same sentence applies to Frank Lampard. And I think that virtually the same sentence applies to Paul Scholes. The difficulty is, I feel like David Beckham, there are a lot of Manchester United players here that are somehow going to be left out unless we accommodate them in midfield, but we probably can't.
Yeah, it's difficult because also we've been told to do a 4-3-3, so then
so
you've kind of got to drop
Giggs and Beckham, which
a lot of strikers are going to miss out. Your Giggs
and Beckham should be in this team, but they're not. In my opinion, they're not. We'll find out. But Giggs and Beckham are not in my team.
Giggs is in mine.
I kind of agree with you, and I'm interested to see how you do it because I feel like Giggs has to be in, but I also don't think you can put Giggs in this formation.
You're going to hate me for it.
Okay, let's hear it. So Giggs left wing.
Rooney, Ronaldo.
Giggs, Rooney, Ronaldo. I mean, the reason I think it's very difficult is because of the formation. I think Ryan Giggs, and I don't know why.
Okay,
and I looked at the conversation in the chat of the video off the back of the video that we did recently about Arsenal and Liverpool, and I got some stick, and it was all nostalgia.
About Seaman, innit?
Yeah, and Lauren. And Lauren.
Why don't people respect Lauren, man?
Lauren. But I also think that Ryan Giggs suffers from this, and it doesn't really make sense to me. Like Ryan Giggs, I think when we did our Premier League, what did we call it? The Hall of Fame or whatever we called it. Oh no, the Mount Rushmore. A lot of people disagreed with our Giggs shout, and I just thought Giggs is arguably number one on that list. Like Ryan Giggs is.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah. But equally, I feel like Ryan Giggs is a sensational player, totally overlooked. His brilliance and his consistency, often forgotten. Stats don't necessarily do him a favour. I don't like leaving him out of this team, but I feel like we have to, because in this 4-3-3, I think Eden Hazard is better than Ryan Giggs in this very specific conversation. Booth, you shaking your head?
I can't. I just can't. With the lack of titles, the lack of consistency. He had 3 or 4 years.
He didn't really have a lack of titles. He just didn't have anywhere near as many as Giggs. It's only a lack of title compared to Giggs. It's not a lack of titles compared to a normal
Giggs
football.
gets in a 4-3-3 over Hazard, just with even position he's slightly out of touch, but because of the legacy, I mean, he's a Premier League all-timer.
I won't argue massively because...
Are we saying Rooney?
Yeah, Rooney down the middle, and then if you're happy Ronaldo on the right, then fair enough. Do you know what I mean? I think Ronaldo has to be
honourable mentions to like Beckham, Robin, Joe Cole, Duff. Very honourable. Like,
I have to say, by the way, you didn't say Kante in midfield. There's an argument Kante gets in over Scholes.
Kante don't get in over Scholes, but
there's an argument.
I think we picked it perfect in midfield, but Kante is incredible. There's a lot of...
Kante's an all-timer in midfield, you know that, in history of football.
Not Ballack.
No, but just list off the names. It's
Ballack doesn't get it. But there's been a lot of rewriting about Ballack. A lot of Chelsea fans are very frustrated with.
I know he didn't do well at either
club. Veron. Jesus
no,
Christ.
but listen to the great central midfield. I'm just like...
Yeah, this is just in names, though. If you're picking kind of names, you might go, I don't know, but yeah, Ballack, Veron, and...
Schweinsteiger.
Yeah, exactly. But the problem that I've got here, I feel like Rooney has to be in. I also feel like Didier Drogba can't just be dismissed this way. I think Rooney's in. I don't really know where, but probably through the middle.
I might hurt your feelings, yeah. But with Rooney, Cole, Cantona, Van Nistelrooy, Drogba might be lucky to get top 5.
Drogba's ahead of Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
What?
That's you're being loose. Cantona, fine.
I'm being loose.
You're being loose with your opinions.
150 goals.
You're being loose with your opinions.
200 appearances.
Yeah,
Please.
150 goals.
The Chelsea side that were 1-0 down in the Allianz
He was
aren't
never
going to...
seen like this as well. I think it's important with Cole. I know that when we say like that Giggs has done a mischief by stats.
Yeah.
Andy Cole has done a massive favour by stats as well. But I mean, he was never playing for England, was it? He was never the main striker in the league. Although he was scoring at a rapid rate, he half missed a lot. He wasn't seen at the time as being the striker that you're necessarily suggesting he is with the goal record. Is that fair?
I've always looked at him that way as one of the best strikers in Europe.
No, you personally.
And you look at him
perhaps.
in the Champions League as well. Talking about English strikers, what English strikers have done it like him in the Champions League apart from Wayne Rooney? Don't worry, I will wait.
No. Again, I think that in this very specific conversation, what other English strikers have done it in the Champions? Yeah, maybe not. But at the time, living it. Andy Cole was never really selected for England as a first choice. He wouldn't have even been the third. I feel like Ian Wright would have been probably ahead of him.
Andy Cole's better than Ian Wright.
I don't know if that's true, mate.
I know his uncle Ian and all these people love him, but Andy Cole's twice the player Ian Wright was.
I don't think.
Sorry,
I don't think
put your Champions League medal on the table.
You can't
and show me your performance in the new
when
camp.
It matters. It's not
but show me your performance in the new camp. Show me like.
But you've said Cantona,
Ian Wright's
and you're
nowhere
spot on.
near.
You throw in all these players underneath Cantona. You can't
Ian
just
Wright
spread bet.
nowhere near Andy Cole.
You're spread betting your opinions. I don't get it. You said Cantona. You're spot on. But there's no way Van Nistelrooy is better than Drogba. There's no way on planet Earth.
As a striker, he is.
Yeah, but not
as a striker. Van Nistelrooy is probably the best.
Not as an overall footballer. Not as an overall footballer. Not as an overall contribution to their club. Not as an overall Premier League legend.
If Chelsea are 1-0 down at the Allianz with Van Nistelrooy, they lose 1-0.
Yeah,
mate, nah.
They do.
Yeah,
they do, and you don't score the winning penalty in the same way.
Yeah, and he definitely doesn't score the header to get us back in the game. Like in terms of a big game play, you don't get anybody better than Didier Drogba, and that is just a fact. But I do also agree that, like, I don't even think if I was picking a Man United striker, I think I'd have gone Cantona over Cole anyway.
Yeah, Cantona.
I didn't go Cole. I went Rooney.
Yeah, Rooney down the middle. Ronaldo on the right.
No.
You have to put Ronaldo. You have to put Ronaldo in. You have to. He's the greatest player in the Premier League.
What's the front three then?
Ballon d'Or is the only Ballon d'Or winner.
Rooney.
And he won it in the Premier League.
Outrageous.
Yeah, but the Ballon d'Or is such a misleading.
No, he was
I'm not goals and the
that's fine. There are a million reasons that you can justify Ronaldo, but just don't say the Ballon d'Or. Like, it's so.
No, but the reason
that
I
matters.
say that is so rare for a player in the Premier League.
Coutinho finished second.
No, but he was so good at Man United. He for 3 years, he was the best player in the history of the Premier League. There's never been a level that high in Premier League history.
So Ronaldo on one side, Giggs on the other side, and
Wayne
Rooney through the middle. So it is very.
So many good, great strikers don't make it though.
Very, very interesting.